If you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur looking to scale, you're in the right place. Hey, my name is Dayana. I'm an operations and growth strategist, and I help small business owners and entrepreneurs just like yourself to be able to help you all to build high-performing teams and to automate your systems and processes to be able to help to enhance and scale your business even faster. So let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about org structure, which a lot of people don't think about org structure in the very beginning because entrepreneurship sometimes feels like you're in fight or flight mode. You're like, hey, I got to just keep going, keep grinding. And you forget about the systems and processes portion. Completely normal. But today we're going to actually break that down to make sure that we're building an effective organizational structure that's going to build us to actually scale and to be successful as possible. So let's see. We're going to start out with 52 Weeks Strong. This is just a business that my fiance and I have, and we're in the process of building it, but I'm just going to use this for easy purposes, okay? So where we're going to start is I'm going to start off as if you already had people hired, because I want us to think about if we already have people hired, what roles they're actually in, okay? So let's see. So say if I have myself, ooh, that's not a good one. I keep forgetting that's one of the bad ones. Okay. So say if we have myself, we have my fiance, and say we have 3 other people working for us. So say we have, I don't know, I'm going to use some random names. And okay. So say we have some people already hired over here, okay? So stay with me. We have some people hired over here, but these people are doing jobs and kind of starting to do jobs and overlapping one another. So we want to make sure that we start breaking this down so that way everyone's not doing everything. So currently, I want to show kind of a before and an after. So we're going to do this right here to kind of separate. So we're going to have our before, and then we're going to have our after. So right now, our current org structures are like this. So myself is in the CEO role. My fiance is COO. We basically are just equivalent. So this is me. This is Ben. Cool. And then we have Cynthia, Cole, and Brooklyn. And right now, essentially what happens is Cynthia, Cole, and Brooklyn just kind of fall right here. Okay? Oops. And Cole right now, he is our marketing person. So he does all things marketing. Brooklyn does sales for us. And then Cynthia, she kind of does a little bit of everything. I would say she's more so in an administrative role / helping out with our clients. So I would say customer service. Okay. Right now, all of this looks like it's okay. But the issue being, or actually, this isn't even how, sorry. Okay. It actually reports to both. So all of this looks fine, except for Cole reports to myself and my fiance. And then I would also say that Cynthia, she reports to Ben and she also reports to me as well. This gets very confusing because there's not one point of contact. It is okay, especially when you're starting out, that if you only have a few people that there's no real structure. But at the end of the day, if I say something and then my fiance says something different, they need to know who has the final say on something. So they need to understand what the structure is, who they need to be communicating with to make sure that they are doing what is in the best interest and the goal of the company. Because I mean, business owners, you know that sometimes you and your other partners don't always see eye to eye, and that's completely normal. You don't want to see eye to eye because you want someone that's going to challenge your decisions sometimes, so that way you can think about it from another perspective, because that's ultimately what's going to help your business to grow. But it can be very confusing for your team members down here who are trying their best to be able to follow and make you all happy, but don't really know who has the final say on something. So then instead of them just kind of moving forward with the task, they're going to ask me. Then they're going to go to Ben. Then when Ben says something different, they're going to come back to me. Then me and Ben then have to meet. So then that slows everything down to where it should be a very quick and easy process. Okay, Ben says, let's do this, let's do that. Or Deanna said this, but Ben said this. Ben has the final say. Okay, cool, move forward. Like, it does not always have to be you bouncing back and forth, because that's just going to slow you down and make your processes and make your company overall a little inefficient, as well as confusing your team members. Why I brought this up was because this company, all this is hypothetical right now, guys. Let me add some more people, because the reason that I want to do this is because sometimes before we build out our structure, we start adding people to this list and just keep going without thinking about how that's going to impact our overall structure. And then if we try to take this over here while adding 5 additional people, it's going to get very, very confusing. So let's just say we're going to add Brandon. We're going to add Sarah. We're going to add Sarah, Brandon. I don't know why it's so hard for me to come up with names. It's really not this hard. We're going to use Casey. And we got 2 more. So we'll use, I don't know. I actually don't know. Okay. We're going to use, this should not be this hard. A Tyler and Amber. Okay, cool. Now that I got through the hard part, just naming our hypothetical people. Anyways, so now that we have all this, we know that Cynthia is our customer service rep. She handles everything with our clients. Cole is in marketing and Brooklyn is in sales. So now that we've added all these people, now which ones are doing what? So Brandon's going to be in sales. Sarah's going to be in marketing. We need some more customer service people. So Casey's going to be in customer service. Tyler's going to be in customer service. And then I'm going to need another person in sales. Okay. So right now we already have our people that have been with us for this long. But say we are hiring people, and say Amber has the most tenure out of Brooklyn and out of our other rep, Brandon. If she already has that leadership experience, just because I have known Brooklyn longer, Brooklyn's been with the company longer, just because of that does not mean that she automatically gets a senior level role within the company just because she's been with the company longer. I know that might not be popular opinion, but that is the truth. If Amber has the most experience out of all of our sales members, I'm going to make Amber the sales manager. I'm not just going to automatically promote Brooklyn to the sales manager role, even though Amber has a lot of experience. Amber has, hypothetically, of course, Amber has tenure with the company for 10 years. This company, she worked up from being a sales rep to a sales manager to a sales director, and she was a sales director for 5 years, brought in multi-million dollars for the company. I'm not going to leave Brooklyn here when Brooklyn just started with us 2 years ago, but Brooklyn is barely hitting half of the metrics that Amber would be hitting and half of the metrics that Amber has hit at her last company. So I say all this to say that just because someone's been with your company does not mean that they automatically get that senior level. If Brooklyn, Brandon, and Amber all were equivalent, then yes, it would make the most sense to go ahead and move Brooklyn into that senior level role as a manager over the sales team. But right now, it's not necessary. So what we're going to do is right now, I'm going to show the before if we just did everything as is, okay? So let's see, Cole would be over Sarah. Customer service would be Casey. Ooh. Tyler. And then Brooklyn would be Amber and Brandon. Okay. So right now, and this is not very pretty, but right now this would be what the org structure would look like if we brought these people in with our current structure right now, as is. This is not efficient, especially when you have people that are overseeing other people. If you have leaders in your company who are managers and they're having to report to two different people on the same exact topic, that's not efficient. So that's something that you're going to want to nip in the bud early on to be able to get everyone moving forward in the right direction. So let's clean this up just a bit. I'm not going to take too long on it, but we'll clean it up to make it make more sense. I'll just use this one. So what we'll do is myself and Ben will still be CEO, COO. Okay. But this is where we need to figure out where we actually shine. Where do me and Ben shine? Do we shine in the marketing realm? Do we shine in the sales realm? Do we shine in the customer service realm? Whatever that is, we need to be overseeing that or agree that whoever is going to oversee it, they have the final say, and pretty much we trust them with that. Because at the end of the day, you can't do everything, and so some things do need to be delegated. It's okay to split things apart. You don't have to oversee every single thing within your business. You ultimately, like I mentioned in one of my other videos, you want to get to a place where your business can run without you. So that's why you want to start putting leaders in place along the way to be able to help to build your company up so that eventually you can either step out and bring someone else into the CEO or COO role and you just be on the board, or whatever that might look like for your goals, because everyone has different goals for their businesses. So let's write this out real quick. In a perfect world, what we would do when you identify that things are out of whack, slow down for a second. Everything cannot stop. You don't need to pretty much mention anything to your team. C-level or whoever is at the most executive level, those stakeholders need to have a meeting and figure out, okay, what do we need? Because the reason that I say this is we have all these people over here, but all these people do not have to be in the roles that we already gave them. Say we hired Casey, but Casey's not performing in customer service, and we think she actually would be a better fit in marketing. Or Tyler, he's in customer service, but he's actually outperforming Cynthia, so we think we want to move Tyler into that leadership role. Where we are right now, we know that we have certain spots that we need to fill. So forget about the specific people that you have in your organization, which can be difficult, but split the people from the positions and start filling in on your chart the exact positions that you know that you need. If you start focusing on the positions and you take away the person, then it takes your emotions out of it. Because obviously, yeah, Brooklyn, absolutely love Brooklyn. I want her to end up being our sales director one day. But because I'm consistently thinking about Brooklyn in a sales role, I cannot get past that she's not the best person for a sales manager role at this time. And so that's why I said split the people from the positions, and let's just go ahead and fill in the positions that we know that we need, and then we'll go from there. So we have this right here, Now we know, let's move down to the next level. Let's see. We know that Ben is he flourishes at sales. And so we're actually going to let sales and sales and customer service live in his realm, because he's really good with like following up client things, all of that nature. So we're going to put CS and sales with Ben, and then we're going to put marketing with me, just because at this time, for the size of the company, it doesn't make sense for all of that to be on him right now. Eventually, maybe it will, but not right now. So let's continue to go down. So since we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we have 8 team members. You should only have at max 5, some books say 7, but 7's pushing it, direct reports. We would have, each of us would have close, potentially around 5. Ben would actually have 5, and I'd have a little less. All right, hey y'all, so I don't exactly remember where my video cut off, but we're just gonna go ahead and pick up right where I think we may have left off. As you can see, I filled in everything because I didn't realize that the camera is not recording. So we're just gonna run through this really quickly and go from there. So all in all, I want you to be able to separate your people from the positions, because it's easy to get emotional about it and think about, oh, I really love Brooklyn, she's been with the company for a while, but not really thinking about the company's best interests. I'm worried about Brooklyn and how she's going to feel. So I ended up writing out everything, and I decided, I think I already told you all how I will be doing marketing, Ben will be doing customer service and sales. And so I realized that underneath marketing, I only need a videographer, photographer, who can also edit, and then a marketing tech coordinator. Under Ben's going to need 3 people in sales and then 2 people in customer service. So what I ended up doing was, there was no reason for my videographer and my marketing tech coordinator to one to be over the other. So that only leaves me with 2 direct reports, which is totally fine for me. And then Ben, I have him over here, and instead of him having 3 salesmen that all have to report to him, I just gave him 1 sales manager, and then that sales manager, whoever we feel like is the best fit for that role, or if we need to hire externally, then we will do that to be able to lead our salespeople. So not only will not only will our sales manager take sales calls, be meeting with clients and things like that, he'll also be overseeing the sales team. And then for our customer service reps, there's really no reason for one to be over the other since there's only 2 of them. So that left Ben with 3 direct reports, which I think is stellar, because you really should only have around 5. 7 is really pushing it, but 5 direct reports. So this leaves me with 2, Ben with 3, and then Ben and I will be able to communicate amongst us. And so when all of this is drawn out, you really, I cannot emphasize this enough, how important it is to separate the people from the positions, because obviously, you know, we have 8 employees over here, we have 8 team members, and we also have 8 spots over here. So everyone technically would have a spot, because I have 2, 4, 6, 7, actually I only have 7 spots. Interesting. 6, 8. Yeah, I don't know where I left someone out. If anything, I would always add another salesperson right here. So we would just have sales 3, and they would all be equivalent. But so yeah, so we have 8 spots over here, so everyone technically could fill in, but it's really hard for people to go from a straight structure like we had right here, where everything is flat, to go into now there's some hierarchy. There's not even that much hierarchy, but there is a little bit. So some people can start feeling away. They shouldn't, because there's always room for improvement, especially within entrepreneurship and small businesses. There's always room for growth. That's one of the things that I love working with small businesses and startups, is that there's always room for growth. So even if you're over here as MarTech, you can end up going over here and being the sales manager one day, because you're just that much of an awesome individual and you really took your job seriously. You trained up your replacement, and you have a passion for sales, and maybe you have been cross-training, doing a little bit of sales calls here and there as well. So that's what I really love about it, is there's always opportunity, but it is somewhat inevitable. The likelihood of you losing someone going from a flat organizational structure to a more tiered structure, you're probably going to lose at least 1 person, depending on the size of your company, because not everyone's going to want to report to a certain person and all of these things. And it's really sad, but depending on who that leader is, like I said in one of my other videos, a leader can make or break your company. So if there's someone that maybe my fiance and I oversaw and we didn't realize, maybe they're not the best leader. To us, they seem like they're leading really well, but then they're not communicating very well with the other team members. That could cause someone else to leave. So that's why it's so important for us to do our due diligence and be involved with our team, so that way we can make the best decision for moving forward. So it is okay for not all of these people to make it over. The goal would be for them to make it over, but I want to think about the positions first that we need, figure out the roles and responsibilities, and then come back over here and say, okay, who would be the best fit for this role? And if there's not a role for them, if they're that much of a great team member, we're going to find a spot for them ultimately. We will definitely find a spot for them. But if they're kind of not doing everything they could be doing and kind of slacking or not working, especially if you're a virtual person and you're remote, then there's a chance that you might not have a spot over on this side. So it's important to think about all of those things because all of that plays a part. But just remember whenever you're doing this to separate the people from the positions so that way you can have a clear view on what your organizational structure should be to be able to help you to be efficient, effective, and ultimately be able to scale. So if you felt like this was helpful, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be dropping daily tips and tricks and things like this for the next 100 days on my 100-day challenge. And I'll also take a screenshot of this or drop some type of resource in the description. That way you all can have it to be able to help you as you are building out your organizational structure. So again, please feel free to subscribe to this video, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.